I'm so freaking bored, I need to medicate. So, I don't know if any of you have seen this yet, but the new Avengers Infinity Wars trailer came out. And what did you guys think? 'Cause that's what everyone's talking about right now. Avengers Infinity Wars. I think this is the first time, for starters, with this trailer, that, first of all, Thor Ragnarok is still in theaters, and it's only been out, I think, a month. So it's kind of weird because you can kind of see things from Thor Ragnarok, and like me, I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok yet. So just watching people talking about the trailer, and it's kind of like, oh, so clearly this happens to Thor in the movie. And then also the Black Panther movie, I believe, is coming out before the Infinity War movie. So Black Panther being in that movie, you can kind of just clearly see things like characters from Black Panther who you can clearly see they're alive. And so if ever in the Black Panther movie these characters are going to die, you can kind of be like, well, clearly they make it through because they're in the Infinity War. So this is kind of, I think this is a rare situation where these movies are stepping on each other's toes so close together to tell all these stories before the Infinity War, that you can really see what happens in the other movies just by watching a trailer. You can see what happens in a movie that's not out yet by looking at the trailer for a movie that's gonna come after that movie. It's kind of weird. But anyway, personally, my other take on the movie was I thought it was, I mean, obviously it's a serious thing, but for a Marvel movie, one of the things that I like is it's serious, but it's lighthearted at the same time. And I want the stakes to be high, but this was like a dead serious movie. Like the DC Justice League, that was just, that trailer actually had more comedy in it, I think, than this one. Which that's always been a big deal, is Iron Man walking into the room and being like, that guy was playing Gallagher, we all caught him. Like, that's one of the things I loved about these movies, is just a good time. Just go lighthearted, good time, yet you get to see all these heroes just whooping. But in this trailer, it was just sad. This is the culmination to all these movies that started with the first Iron Man. And it's going to be the war of all wars. What comes after this? Do they keep kind of going with the same characters and start a new story arc from scratch? Or do they like get rid of Robert Downey Jr., who's now been playing Iron Man for, I don't know what the date of the first Iron Man. It was after 2006, had to be. But do they start with a new Tony Stark and just start telling a new story? That'll be interesting to see, because as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, they made a, what they do, they had one of the Comic Cons, they came out and they just showed their whole plan of all the movies they were going to make. And this was kind of where it ended. I know there's going to be another Ant-Man movie, but that's probably in between part 1 and part 2 of the Infinity Wars. I have a feeling this first movie is going to be more of a, it's the first half, it's going to be the losing half. Like, I imagine big purple dude, Thanos, is going to end up more powerful in the end of this movie than he is at the beginning. And it's going to be about them and their first encounter with him and probably getting beat up, and then some small victory, which I hate that. So we'll have to wait another 2 years or however long it takes them to get the other half of this movie story out, to get the actual victory part. And I think this is my prediction, just off of stuff I've seen, kind of how the comics go. I think our current Captain America, Chris Evans? It's too many Chris's. It's Chris Pratt, Chris Pine, and Chris Evans. I think it's Evans that plays Iron Man. I know it's not Pratt. But I think Chris Evans, his Captain America, I just feel like is gonna die. And then Bucky or someone. Bucky's kind of set up to take over as the new Captain America and to don the shield, while Steve Rogers gets put 6 feet under from something. And that isn't gonna be fun, because that's my favorite character. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting scenario. Meanwhile, we have, I don't know, I guess I gotta see Thor Ragnarok. Was that good? That movie had to be good. Trailers looked awesome. And then we have the Justice League, which, is that out yet? Is that even, I don't even know if that's in theaters or not. I've heard bad things, which I'm not as critical on movies, so I think I could watch it and just enjoy it, but I get the feeling and the vibe that it's not a movie you want to watch twice, which is a bummer, because growing up, DC was always the heavy-handed, kicking butt, making the best movies, making the best everything. And Marvel was just this off-brand. They had an X-Men cartoon, they had a Spider-Man cartoon, and that was it. Until the Spider-Man movies. But it was still like all these silly characters up until that Iron Man movie came out, and they were just, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were coming to an end, and then the Marvel movies were on the rise. So it was like kind of just the fall of DC. DC hasn't really rocked the world since, other than maybe that Wonder Woman movie a lot of people liked. I was distracted. A bunch of people walked in while I was watching the movie and I couldn't really watch it. So it was kind of on, but I couldn't give it my full attention. I watched as much as I could. But yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Can't wait to see how this all plays out. And to be honest, I can't wait for part 2 of the Infinity Wars without ever seeing part 1. Because I like happy endings. And speaking of happy endings, catch you later.